Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We're going to go over 4 college basketball games for Friday, January 24th, 2025. And if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most in college hoops and other sports, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Friday in college basketball. First up, we have Villanova and Marquette. This one is 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Now, I've said this the last couple of Fridays. There's 150 college basketball games on Saturday. There's no reason to go crazy on Friday with only a few games and really not great games in terms of betting value on the card. I'll be treading lightly myself. And this is one of those games where I could see an argument made for Villanova because situationally speaking, you're getting the Wildcats with a lot of points here. They're coming off, they've lost 3 of their last 4 games. You could argue it's a buy low spot with Villanova, but for me, it's just too much of a lopsided mismatch statistically for me to go against Marquette in this game, as I think Marquette wins the turnover battle in a big way. I think they've really improved on the glass this year, both offensively and defensively. And, Marquette, great three-point defense. Villanova really relies on their three-point jumpers. They score, they're a 40% three-point shooting team. That's the 4th best in the country. And they score about 40% of their points from the perimeter. But Marquette has one of the best three-point defenses in the country, in the conference. They hold teams. They don't really give up a lot of points from the perimeter. So I think Villanova's offense, which is elite, very strong offense, I think it's going to be a little bit more uncomfortable than we're used to seeing. And then the problem lies with the Villanova defense. This has been one of the weakest defenses in the Big East this year. Marquette should have no problem running up the score with the fast pace and the home crowd behind it. Marquette's only lost 1 home game this season, while on the flip side, Villanova's only won 1 road game. That was the game against Butler back in the beginning of the month. But I got to go with Marquette in this game and lay the points. Next up, it's LIU and St. Francis, Pennsylvania. This one is 7 p.m. Eastern. I think this is a good spot for St. Francis. The Red Flash are playing with revenge in this game. They lost to LIU. It was last week. It was last Saturday, 64-51. That was a road game for St. Francis, and it was a blowout loss for sure. The offense struggled, and when you look at both of these teams being in the NEC, and you look at a lot of the numbers and you compare them to other teams and conferences in Division I, they're not going to look great because the NEC, you could argue, the weakest or second weakest conference in Division I college basketball. But compared to the other teams in the conference, St. Francis has a better three-point shooting numbers than most teams. They're a solid free throw shooting team at about 74%. They defend the perimeter quite well, even though they give up a lot of their points from 3. I just think LIU, they're off to a 6-0 start to conference play. They're a 6-game win streak, and they just took down St. Francis. I think because of all that and the recent results we've seen from these teams, I think LIU's overvalued here. I think St. Francis should be a sizable favorite at home in this game. Shot quality-wise, I think these teams are quite even. LIU's defense has been strong in the conference, but shot quality-wise, it's nothing too special. I think St. Francis is going to be able to score much more than 51 points in the second meeting, and I look for the Red Flash to win this game comfortably at home. So give me St. Francis. I think it's a good spot for them. Next up, we have Penn State and Iowa. This one is 9 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Now, Iowa's coming off the bad upset loss to Minnesota. That was a 5-point loss, but I've mentioned a few times, I think Minnesota is a lot better than its record and its ratings. So while it still is a bad loss for the Hawkeyes, maybe not as bad as some may suggest. And I think Iowa, this is a team that on the road has really struggled, not just this year, but in recent years overall in conference play. We've seen them lose already this season at Wisconsin, Michigan, USC, and UCLA. They have yet to win a true road game this season. But I'd much rather back them at home where they've only lost 2 games this year. And I think this is a good bounce-back spot, a get-right spot for the Hawkeyes. I think they match up well with Penn State. For starters, Penn State, Mike Rhodes' defense, really aggressive. They look to force a lot of turnovers. Their backcourt is able to do so with Ace Baldwin leading the way. But Iowa does a great job of taking care of the ball, better than most teams in the country, let alone the conference. They're only turning the ball over about 14% of their possessions. They have a lethal offense. They're a good shooting team, 3-point shooting team. They're top 10 and 2-point field goals as well. So what the Iowa Hawkeyes lack defensively, I think they more than make up offensively in this ball game. And, Penn State's another team that I'm not really looking to back on the road too much. In their last couple of road games, they had that crooked number against Illinois, 91-52. Played competitive ball against Michigan State, but still lost, giving up 90 points. I think Iowa scores in the 80s or 90s, and this one wins this game and covers the number. Next up, it's UCLA and Washington. This one is going to be an 11 p.m. Eastern start time on Fox Sports 1. We know UCLA struggled at the beginning of conference play, at the beginning of the month, where they had lost 4 straight games, and 3 of those 4 games were on the road. It's never easy winning on the road in this conference and in other power conferences, but now we've seen them back-to-back wins at home against Iowa and Wisconsin. The Wisconsin win for me is even more impressive because not just the fact that Wisconsin's a better team, but it was an 85-83 final. It was a high-scoring shootout type of game, and the biggest weakness for UCLA this year has been their offense. They're not a great shooting team. They're improving, but they weren't at the beginning of the season. They're not a good free throw shooting team. Their shot quality numbers on the offensive side aren't the best, but that win showed they can compete in these high-scoring shootout games if their defense isn't as sharp on a particular night. But I still think this is an elite defense. They're a great team at forcing turnovers, and I think they match up really well in this game with what Washington looks to do offensively. On the flip side, Washington, really good three-point defense. They don't give up a lot of threes, and teams are shooting a measly 28.9% from the perimeter against the Huskies this year. The problem has been the two-point defense. They give up 56% of their points from two-point field goals. They're giving up, they're ranked 259th in two-point defense. UCLA scores a large majority of its points via two-point field goals. They match up well, in my opinion, in this game, and I got to go with UCLA. It's still kind of a cheap price because the Bruins have struggled on the road. They're only laying a couple of buckets because they're on the road, and I'm going to take advantage of it with the UCLA Bruins in this one. And that's it. Those are the games for Friday in college hoops. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and put those college basketball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.